What was not on my bingo card in 2025 is the collapse of healthcare inside the United States, particularly the one with insurance. And in this video, we're going to go over all of that. And we're starting to see people come out and questioning and basically saying, do we need health insurance or should we just go and pay for it in cash? And it's going to be really interesting here because I got two videos. And in one of these videos, there's a guy who lobbied for health insurance, and he's going to explain how he got here and some of the questions he has. And the second one is a small business owner, and she's a company. I think she runs a company of 11 people, and she's thinking about ditching health insurance too. And how did we get here? So let's talk about two things first to kind of set it straight. So there's premiums and then there's deductibles. And the premiums is the monthly membership you buy, basically oversimplified terms. And then the deductible is how much you're going to pay if you're going to see a doctor. And what happened in 2019 is very, very important because in 2019, what happened was that right here, they basically got rid of the penalties. So they relieved that and they said some states still have it, like California, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Vermont, all these places still have penalties if you do not have health insurance. And now we're going to watch this lawyer basically that has been lobbying, and he's going to talk about health insurance and what he's thinking about.
We are 5 weeks out from open enrollment, the day when we can all sign up for our health insurance. I took a closer look over the last week and realized that sky high prices continue. I have a family of four, and I'm paying over $25,000 a year solely on health insurance premiums, over $2,000 a month, and my deductible is still $7,500, which means my insurance doesn't really kick in until I spend $7,500 on medical costs that are actually in network. I'm at the point, honestly, where I'm thinking about foregoing health insurance entirely, which sounds like a pretty crazy and scary concept, but here we are. And how do we get here? Well, full disclosure, I used to work for a major Fortune 20 health insurance company for over half a decade. A thing or two about how we got here. I spent some time working on legislation, regulation, and legal issues, and I'll break it down for you. So, before the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, insurance companies were actually able to deny people insurance if they had complex medical conditions and/or pre-existing conditions, commonly termed. And then after Obamacare passed, insurance companies could no longer deny anyone who wanted insurance, and they also were further restricted on what they were allowed to price the insurance based off. Think of risk factors. So now, on a go-forward basis, health insurers can only adjust your premium based on age, tobacco use, and location. So as a result, more people than ever now have health insurance, which is obviously a good thing, but the prices have skyrocketed as insurers are on the hook for ever-increasing medical procedures, hospital costs through the roof, drug prices are exorbitant and continue to increase, and the American population is generally morbidly sick and obese. Yeah, so here we are. Honestly thinking long and hard about whether I just forego insurance entirely this year. Would love to have an extra $2,500 in my pocket a month to pay for food, eggs, which feel like they're $100 a carton now. And would love to hear what everyone else thinks. I'll share a story. I went to the ER last year actually, because I passed out, fainted, couldn't walk, and my ER visit was actually more expensive because I had insurance, and if I just paid cash, and then the ambulance ride was denied as quote not medically necessary by my health insurer. On top of this, I have two kids with pretty complex medical conditions. Most of the specialists I see are out of network, meaning they don't contract with insurance. And when I do submit a claim, my insurer denies it or pays pennies for the amounts owed. I'm not really sure where this goes from here, but I think it's fairly certain that health insurance prices will continue to increase. I'll make another video in November and let you know where I landed on if I ultimately opted in to the scheme or decided to risk it for another year. One tip when you go to shop for health insurance is that you get what you pay for. So if you think about a balloon, health insurance is really based on a premium, the amount you pay per month, and deductible, how much you need to pay before your health insurance kicks in. If you push on one side of the balloon, if you go for a lower premium, you're going to have a higher deductible. If you push for a higher premium, you're generally going to have a lower deductible. So there's some things to keep in mind. Let me know if you have any thoughts or recommendations if I should forego and risk it, or just bite the bullet, pay another 30 racks this year.
So this is the problem with health insurance, that sometimes they pay for stuff and they say this is not medically necessary, and they say, you're on your own. And this guy has been paying $30,000 a year in health insurance, and he's like, I don't even know if this is worth it because I can save 30 grand, and if I have an emergency, try to pay cash for it. So if you haven't and you like content like this, please like and subscribe. That would really help out my channel. And when I talk about health insurance, I talk about your finances, the word access comes to place. And I see politicians, you throw the word, you have access to health care, you have access to this. And when you're looking at the premiums and you're looking at the deductibles, those are the key factors. Because let's face it, everybody can get health insurance if they have a high enough deductible and they have the lowest amount of insurance premium, then it's like not having any health insurance. If you're gonna have to pay out of pocket $8, 9, 10, $15,000 before your health insurance kicks in, you're only really saved for catastrophic failure. And then is it the question, do you have health insurance? And those are the questions that politicians don't really tackle. They say, you have access to buy health insurance. You have access to health insurance. That's the same thing as this real estate mansion that I got showed up. You have access to buy this, but you don't have the funds. You have access to buy all of that, but no, you don't have the fund. The thing is also, when they talk about access, it's like if you're in the desert and there's only rotten water and there's like these crocodiles in the water. Is there water? Yeah, there's water. Is it drinkable? Another question. Is it going to kill you? Who knows? But there's water. And so this is the question with health insurance where people are like, just having access doesn't mean nothing. And now we're going to watch this young lady talk about how she's thinking about just going full in, full, full full blown naked with no insurance and just are going to start paying out of pocket because she feels like that's just a better option for me. And the company is also like, why are we doing this? Why are we not just saving the money and putting it somewhere else? And so let's watch this. And then I want to hear what you guys think about this whole healthcare debacle.
Okay, how are people surviving? How are they doing it? I am the benefits administrator at my small business. I have less than 20 employees. I have 11 enrolled in United Healthcare. So we just got our renewal information. So we have 11 employees that are they just insure themselves. We have one that does them and their spouse. We have two that does employee and child, and we have one, that's me, that enrolls their family. So my family consists of my husband, myself, and our two young daughters. Okay, currently we pay $1,268 a month in premiums. So what premiums do is it just gives you access to the plan. Okay, it's not any of your health insurance costs. We experienced for this year's renewal. So in 1 year, we had a 46.53% increase. Now for my family of four to have access to their health plan is $1,900 a month. That's $23,000 a year. We're all completely healthy. I don't really do the whole go to the doctor thing. We use it as we truly need it. I've got some real trust issues. But riddle me where the average family is getting $23,000 to pay for their premium. That's not to mention that once they actually have a health event, they have to reach their $5,000 deductible before the plan pays anything. Anything. It's so disturbing. So let's say that I had a health event where I broke my arm. I'd be paying $23,000 in premiums. And then I'd have to pay another $5,000 for $28,000 before I receive any assistance from this plan that I pay $23,000 to be a part of. Oh, sure, it does pay for my wellness visits where they'll inject my kids with A, B, and C. So that's great. No thanks. Ridiculous. This, United Healthcare, you should be ashamed. This is embarrassing, and this is not accessible for American families or small businesses, because as a business, I pay part of this for my employees. I pay 50%. An individual rate went from $441 to $645.
So now you're wondering, why why is everything so expensive? A lot of it has to do with these insurance policies. And I got a mobile home delivered the other day on a lot that I bought in Las Vegas. And I've asked him, why is the transporter so expensive? I said, where are you making all this money from? Why are you charging me, I think it was $20,000 from somewhere near Arizona to Las Vegas? I was like, man, is this like a gold mine? What are you guys? Is this like a underserved market? Why are you charging 20 grand? And he said, well, to insure each truck is $15,000 a month, he said, for insurance, because if they haul the mobile home down the road and the shingles fall off or something happens, it's on them. It's not on the manufacturer. And I was like, man, $15,000 a month, that's crazy. And so like, yeah, so that's why it's so expensive. And these health insurance companies are at the same spot. If everybody that's healthy drops health insurance and everybody's like, I don't really need it, what's going to happen is you're only going to have really sick people in health insurance. And then it's not insurance anymore, then it's a membership. And once it's a membership, the membership fees are going to be through the roof because you're going to have to cost share between all that. And these big towers that they got with the logos on them and these big bonuses, also need to be paid out. So you're going to start paying for all of that. If you're healthy and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to drop health insurance and I'm going to pocket those $30,000, you just took that from an insurer. And now what's going to happen is somebody else has to pick up the tab. And so we saw these two people, basically, one of them was like 30 or 25 and another 25. So you can say literally $60,000 is on the table for these health insurance company, for one of these health insurance companies to be like, you know what, we just lost out on $60,000. And there's a lot of people talking about, ooh, this is not good. I don't want to do that no more. Or maybe I can't afford it. And so we're just going to drop it entirely. And when you're looking at that, and when I talk to people in my circle with my friends, they say, oh, I don't want to travel for healthcare and anything else. And when I grew up in Switzerland, the little backstory is that I always seen bus ads about Turkey and Eastern European, like from to go to Poland to get medical procedures done. If you want cosmetic stuff done, there were ads in the bus while you're driving to school that had displays on them that said, why don't you come to Turkey and get your teeth done at a resort and the dentist's office right next to it? And what you do is you schedule a 3-day trip. You're going to be at an all-inclusive resort. Once you're up, we'll buzz you. You'll come over and we have a little shuttle drop you off. And then once we're done with the teeth cleaning or put a crown in, what you're going to do is you're going to hang back and you're going to just hang out at the resort. And before you head back, we'll do another quick checkup, make sure everything's right. And you're back to Europe and you're back to where the cost is of getting those procedures done is way, way higher. And this is absolutely crazy. So if I was if I was in their shoes and I lived next to the Mexico border, like Mexicali or somewhere, I would question if I really, really wanted that expensive health insurance, or if I would just say, you know what, let me just go over the border and get my procedures done there if I need something, or go to the dentist down there because it's probably a quarter of the price. And this is what I've done with my two dogs. They had to get their teeth pulled because one of my dogs doesn't like to chew on stuff. And so they quoted me in Las Vegas, I think $1,900. So I said, oh man, $1,900, that's a lot of money. And so I called around and looked on Reddit, and one of these people on Reddit said, oh, go to Mexicali, get your dog down there. It's all Americans. It's like it's a full-blown practice. And the funny part is that the veterinarian was studied and certified inside the United States. She's just like, I think one day out of the week I work in San Diego, but the most of the time I'm here. And yeah, I do it in Mexico. So guess how much? $185. So instead of me paying $2,000 in Las Vegas, it was a day trip, and I saved hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. And yeah, costed me a rental car. I rented it, had to get insurance close to the border for the Hertz rental car. Was like 30 or what is it, $60? Yeah. And the rental car was $30 for a day. Drove down there. They put him under. They pulled the teeth. They did that. Came back. Super easy procedure. No issues. And saved me, I think I ran the numbers. It saved me $1,700. Took my neighbor's dogs too. So yeah, absolutely crazy. People got to be creative. And when you're thinking about, oh my gosh, I don't want to spend $30,000 in health insurance, you might be right. Maybe there is something that you can do better and just pay cash, because I've seen other people come online and say like, hey, I gave birth at a hospital and I don't have insurance. So what did I tell them? I don't have insurance. And they're like, okay, your out of pocket cost cash going to be $3,800. And then what's going to happen is their charity kicked in. If I find the video, I'm going to put it on here.
How much it's cost to have a baby without insurance. So if this is the first video you're coming across, just watch the playlist and then that'll get you caught up. But we got an update. I got another letter from the hospital. Random. Didn't know I was getting this. This is not something that I've called and been like, hey, can you make this lower or blah, blah, blah. The only time I talked to somebody was 2 weeks after I had the baby. They called and were like, hey, we noticed you have insurance. Do you want to apply for any assistance or whatever? And I was like, no. I applied for can care or whatever when I first found out I was pregnant, knowing I was probably going to get denied, and I got denied for it. And they were like, oh, okay, yeah, well, if you got denied for can care, you're going to get denied for this assistance or whatever. Well, anyway, the last video was talking about how I had got a letter from the hospital basically saying that the financial assistance program had picked up part of my bill. And at that point, the final total was $4,927. Well, now I just got another one. And it says my previous balance was $4,927. The charity discount is $3,449. So my remaining balance owed is $1,478. So I don't know. That's a good thing, I guess. But it's just so weird how I just keep getting these letters. I haven't talked to anybody. And even since the last one, I haven't set up anything outside of my regular payment that I have set up online. So yeah, I probably need to do that. I really do need to shop something. But anyway, just a little update. It's gone from 16 to 20, 16,000 to 20,000 to 4,000. Now it's down to 1,500. So crazy.
Without insurance, nothing, you're in it for $1,400. And she said, wow, with insurance, that would have been way, way more money. And so is cash the future? Is cash paying the future because this insurance thing is just gotten out of control and everything is just way too expensive? It might be. My car insurance also, through the roof. I looked at they sent me the 6-month renewal, and that one went up by $200 and something. So for the year, I'm up over $500. And I used to pay, I think, $4,200 for a year for the Blazer and the Jeep. And now all of a sudden it's $5,000, $4,997. And I said, that is legal robbery, but they can do it because they know you're not going to go anywhere else. And if you go start shopping around, they're like, where do you have your homeowner's insurance? Where do you have that? Where do you have that? And the quotes are just through the roof. So yeah, this is what Americans are dealing with. They're thinking, maybe I should just cap insurance. But I'm telling you, a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's too expensive. So they might think, you know what? I can use $2,000 more. Let me just drop it. I don't go to the doctor often. And all of a sudden, this whole little spiral is going to start, and it's going to be a membership. You're going to be in a membership type situation rather than insurance where everybody pays in, because these people that are paying in that are healthy are saying, that's too crazy. I don't want to do that. Why would I want to give them thousands of dollars every year, tens of thousands of dollars if I'm healthy? And if something's going to happen to me, I got to pay $7,500 out of pocket before you even help me out. So $23,000. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to have to spend more money out of my pocket, and people are done. People are starting to wake up and say, this is not it. I'm done. I can't do it no more. I'm fed up. This is it. And you look online, you look on different social media platforms and you type it in. It's not those two are just having it. No, it's a bunch of other people are saying the same thing. They're like, we're done. And it's going to take some reshuffling, redoing it so it becomes affordable again. Or maybe it's not going to become affordable again. I don't know. I don't see it changing anytime soon. They have to really rethink how they're going to do this, or way more people are going to drop and say, you know what, I'm just going to go naked. And then it's going to be a mess, because we're going to see if these high towers that they have, these United Healthcare towers that they have standing around, cost money, cost rent, employees, labor, everything else. It's expensive. So yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what 2025 will bring. Let me know what you guys think about all this. And if you're from a different country, let me know how that goes, because Switzerland, completely different model. Because Switzerland just says, by law, this is how much health insurance, the minimum you need to carry. You shop around. Oh, you have pre-existing condition and you need better treatment. Get a supplemental plan, but you got to enroll separately. And then and you'll never change that. So if you're once enrolled into one of these supplemental plans, you're most likely going to stick around with that one insurance company with the supplemental plan, so they're not going to hose you. But yeah, this is crazy. $30,000. If you told that somebody that these people are paying $30,000 in health insurance and not have anything to show for it at the end, because it's not like they're going to get a special room, they're going to get some other stuff, they're going to get to see the doctor more often. No, that's just access. They're just buying to be in the network, to be part of their group. So yeah, absolutely ridiculous. $60,000 for these two people that are thinking about dropping it. I think a lot of Americans are in the situation of like, should I renew? Because open enrollment's coming, and this might be the downfall of these big insurance company, and something's got to change. So let me know what you guys think about all this. And yeah, if you haven't and you like content like this, please like and subscribe. I make content like this literally all the time. So yeah, I appreciate it. And thanks for liking and subscribing.